He started to go in for figure skating upon the recommendation of his doctors. They advised his parents to involve their son in a sport that would be related to snow or ice in order to combat Ivan's catarrhal diseases. He made his choice in favor of figure skating, which eventually became the meaning of his life. Now it helps him to fight to achieve his dreams in sports. Ivan Shmuratko has not yet achieved all the goals he set for himself in sports, but he has already become the winner of a silver medal in the Youth Olympic Games in team competitions. One day before his 17th birthday, he first became the champion of Ukraine among males. Watch in the program The Cost of Victory. Zodiac sign: Sagittarius. Favorite color: bright yellow. Favorite season: I like all 4 seasons. Eye color: blue. Favorite flower: flower, I won't name one. Favorite animal: my cat. Favorite movie: I have a lot of favorite movies. Favorite drink: tea. Favorite school subject: English. The greatest success of Ivan Shmuratko is connected with competitions in the resort city of Lillehammer in Norway. In 2016, he took part in the second Winter Youth Olympic Games, where he won a silver medal in the team competitions. In 1994, in Lillehammer, the Ukrainian figure skater Oksana Bayul won a gold medal that became the first highest award that an athlete from independent Ukraine gained at the most prestigious competitions in the world. Ivan and his coach Vera Volpova were well aware of this fact and long dreamt of standing on the prestigious winner's podium.
Мне однозначно понравилось то соревнование. Это был очень хороший опыт.
I liked that competition very much. It was a great experience for me, but I must admit that it was not my best performance because I failed to do certain critical elements.
Элементы я их не выполнил по большей части. Но в командном тут.
But in the team competition, I had very good partners, and we pulled together. So we were successful in gaining a prize place, and this was a very thrilling moment for me.
Так что в какой-то мере мне повезло.
Ivan Shmuratko remained dissatisfied with his performance in a single skating at the junior competitions in Lillehammer. He showed poor results and was far from earning a prize place. But in team skating, as a rule, quarters are formed from participants of different countries at the Youth Olympic Games. He, together with representatives from Latvia, Diana Nikitina, the dance duet from France, Yulia Verge and Matthew Kura, and the sport couple from the Czech Republic, Anna Dushkova and Martin Bidar, united in the team named Future and took second place in the competition. I was very shocked. It was a great stroke of luck, and true, stars were aligned that day. Vera Volpova was Ivan's first coach, who helped him take his first steps onto the ice in figure skating. He learned to do his first pirouettes and different skating elements. They worked together over a long 11 years. She gave him very good advice, and at the same time, she could scold him for his mistakes.
Сначала как просто тренировались.
First, she pointed out my mistakes and then advised me how to perform certain figure skating elements.
Так что делать, потом уже больше как
Later, we started talking about discussing different topics. So she basically became like a parent for me.
как там ближе уже что.
Over 11 years, we started understanding one another better with every day.
Понимать друг друга.
The day before his 17th birthday, Ivan Shmuratko made the best present for himself. He won the adult championship of Ukraine in figure skating. Ivan always put high demands to himself. He's satisfied with his victory in the championship, though he's not satisfied with his performance.
Каждый день, по 2.
I had 2 or 3 training sessions every day, so I strive for victory for a long time. It is very pleasant for me to become a champion of Ukraine.
Приятно, что я стал чемпионом Украины. Но на
But I am not satisfied with my performance at this championship, because I failed to execute certain skating elements.
что планировалось.
Having taken the title of champion of Ukraine, Ivan gained the right to represent Ukraine at the Adult European Championship in Minsk. Although he still performs for a junior team and has more chances to rise up the winner's podium at the junior championships, the head coach of the team and his mentor, Marina Amirhanova, requires of her team that it give maximum efforts at the competitions. Every athlete has to show good results everywhere, at any competitions. And why not to show yourself at the European Championship? To show yourself is to do everything you are able to do perfectly by 100% in both a short skate program and a free skate program. This is a task that is set for every athlete. I never tell him that he must get to the top 10 or top 3, 5. His main task is to show everything that he is capable of doing in figure skating. Ivan Shmuratko joined the national team 2 years ago. His coach, Marina Amirhanova, got a load of this silent and thoughtful guy for a long time, but she believed in his success from the very beginning. He had to become the champion of Ukraine this or next year, because he works very hard and has already done a lot of work. He has a good set of skating elements. I would not say that it is the best in the world, but he's going forward in the right direction. Although he's still on the junior team, he has already made great progress. So I think that one way or another he could become a champion of Ukraine, because he worked very hard and he deserves it. Ivan's parents decided to involve their son in figure skating when he was only 4.5 years old. When Ivan went to kindergarten, he often suffered from catarrhal diseases, so doctors advised him to strengthen his body with the help of sports. His parents chose between hockey and figure skating. We chose figure skating because he likes dancing. He does not like fighting, so hockey was not for him. After we had taken advice from doctors, we visited one of the local skating rinks. Do you remember the pioneer skating rink that was situated not far from Arsenalna metro station? So unexpectedly for us, he started to go in for figure skating, and it turned out to be very successful.
Так возникло фигурное катание. Неожиданно для нас, но очень удачно.
4-year-old Vanya did not take part in that family conversation, having agreed with the parents' proposal. He liked dance more than hockey, so the arguments of his parents were quite valid.
Хоккей больше как
I would say that hockey is more a game sport and even a combat sport. So I liked more dancing than fighting. That's why my parents decided to involve me in figure skating. At the beginning, Ivan was trained by coach Vera Volpova and choreographer Yulia Listratova. They staged a lot of performances and created many images together. Ivan's teachers still remember their first impressions of their pupil. When I first met him, he was very little, gloomy and serious. He almost did not smile. He was always a person of a saturnine temper. I would say that he has never been a sociable boy. Now choreographer of Ivan Shmuratko, Yulia Listratova, considers that he is a very devoted pupil. They disputed very often, invented new images for the program and chose music for the performance program. I remember him dressed in black trousers with red stripes. He was a very serious boy and it was very difficult to find a common language with him. It was very difficult to instill confidence in him. Because if you are sincere with a person, they are sincere with you. There simply is no other way. But he has always made all decisions by himself, from his early childhood to this very day. At the beginning, Vanya had 5 training sessions a week, but at that time, it seemed to them that it was physically and mentally difficult for their 4-year-old child to attend so many trainings, and it was very inconvenient for their daily work schedule. When we learned that our son had to train 5 times a week, it seemed to us that it is quite an overload for such a little kid. And we asked ourselves whether we would be able to live according to such a regime, because he had training sessions even on Saturdays and Sundays. But in the end, we decided to give it a try, because we were confident in him, and he needed our support as parents. But they succeeded to do that. Vanya Shmuratko plunged into the training process and started to satisfy both his coaches and parents. To say that the road to triumph was easy is an understatement and absolutely not true. In order to have time for self-development and not to be behind his classmates in studies, he and his parents had to change their schedule completely.
Были времена, когда я вставал там на 5:45.
Sometimes my trainings began at 5:40 a.m. Though wild is better, when I get up early in the morning, there were always some difficult moments.
Из тяжелых моментов,
These are There are peaks and throws in every competition. Of course, it is morally difficult, but every athlete should overcome all of this and move ahead.
Надо это перебороть, как бы идти дальше.
Ask any skater who his main competitor is on a skating rink, and he will answer for sure that he is his own main rival. Every athlete knows about their weak spots, and each individual has their favorite elements of figure skating. Currently, Ivan Shmuratko is learning to perform triple and quadruple jumps, but he has not yet included them in his performance program.
Любой элемент, надо его долго нарабатывать, только тогда он получится, особенно многооборотные прыжки там в 4.
Preparation of any element takes me a lot of time. Only in this way I can successfully execute them at a performance. After all, triple and quadruple jumps require a lot of practice and efforts.
Нравится прыгать, кататься, вращаться.
Я не могу сказать, что у него было что-то конкретно любимо. Он любил.
Now I can't say for sure what my favorite elements are. I simply like jumping, skating and twisting around.
Это захватывало. Если получалось. Если не получалось, конечно, было проблематично. Он любил все новое.
Among scores of characters in his performances, the roles of Sherlock Holmes and Pirate were the most notable for Ivan. He played the latter image on 2 occasions in his career, with a hiatus of 5 years. The first time he had to persuade his coaches to allow him to appear in the role of a pirate.
Нам пришлось вот
We had to persuade coaches to give him an opportunity to express himself, although Vanya was very little at that time.
дать возможность человеку вот выразить себя. Хотя
His coach also insisted on it because the latest image was very successful. So together we managed to agree on this matter, and he appeared on the ice in the image of a pirate. That's why this was for him the most memorable image.
Вот, наверное, пират вот этим запомнился.
During summer holidays, when Ivan rested from figure skating, he liked playing football. There was a time when he attended football practices and even thought of changing the form of sport he would engage in. Every time after holidays or vacation, he suggested ending his figure skating career and getting engaged in football or some other kind of sport. But during the last few years, he has practically lived with figure skating. Now he can't imagine his life without figure skating. Sometimes he works as a coach, helps Vera and me. He also very much enjoys training little kids in this difficult and demanding sport. In those moments when Ivan seriously thought to give up figure skating, his parents played an important role in his life. They encouraged him and asked him to stay in this sport, arguing that he has already achieved a lot.
После каникул, конечно,
Of course, it was very difficult for me to return to figure skating after the holidays, especially when I was younger. I think it is difficult to return to any work or to school after holidays. But now I have a strong desire to return from vacation as soon as possible. The parents of Ivan Shmuratko still do not miss any of his performances. They also support him at competitions and regularly attend his training sessions. And if today they faced a dilemma of what kind of sport to choose for their son, they would most definitely make their choice in favor of figure skating.
Быть мамой фигуриста очень интересно.
It is very interesting to be a mother of a figure skater. I'm an economist by occupation and work in this sphere. My profession has nothing to do with figure skating, but when we attend his training sessions, this brings us real joy.
Вот как родители.
Ivan Shmuratko has long executed triple jumps, but he does not yet show stable results at major competitions. There are competitions where he shows good results in a short program. For example, at the Junior Grand Prix stage that was held in Yerevan in 2018, he was first after a short program, but in the end he took 7th place. But difficulties and misfortunes only make him stronger and instill in him the desire to achieve victory.
в этом сезоне было 3 удачных проката.
He understands that sooner or later he will succeed in everything he engages in. This season I successfully performed for 3 times in a short program. I showed good results at the Grand Prix stage in Yerevan, then at the tournament in Riga and in Turkey. But I gave a poor performance in the free program in Yerevan and Riga. But in Turkey I performed very well in the short and free programs.
Хорошо прокатал короткую произвольную программу.
Before the new year, Ivan Shmuratko took a part in the fairy tales The Snow Queen and The Nutcracker, which were staged in the Kiev Palace of Sports. All the performances drew a full house. Ivan played roles of the evil Trolleyus and the Mouse King.
Он для меня раскрылся по-новому, когда он в «Щелкунчике» вот сейчас.
When he debuted in the Nutcracker fairy tale this year, I discovered a new person in him. In the Snow Queen, he showed quite a different character. Before I thought that he was a very serious and strict young man, but he turned out to be quite different. I learned that he could play a role of an evil monster, but it was so harmonious.
Открыла по-новому.
When Ivan was first offered to play a role in the Snow Queen in 2017, the skater did not hesitate for long and immediately agreed.
Получилось сразу.
I coped with roles in both fairy tales, the Snow Queen and the Nutcracker. Acting is like a relaxation for me in the middle of the season. It is pleasant for me to perform not only for the judges, but also for the audience. It brings me great pleasure. My participation in the New Year's shows is only a light and short relaxation for him. The main dreams of the young figure skater are participation in the European and the Junior World Championships. Besides, Ivan Shmuratko, as well as any cool athlete, dreams of the Olympic Games. He has already won a medal at the Youth Olympic Games.
Есть такие мысли, да.
But he still dreams to take part in the Adult Olympic Games.
Хочу сейчас, пока что кататься. Мне это нравится, я кайфую.
I'm dreaming about participation in the Olympic Games, but now I just want to skate, because I thoroughly enjoy the trainings and performances. In the future, I want to coach in this wonderful sport.